Hey guys, welcome back to the Lawrenceville Bicentennial Podcast, the podcast where we talk to the people that know Lawrenceville best. As always, I'm your host, Nate McGill from Gwinnett Magazine, and today on the show, we're talking to the folks over at Discovery High School and learning about their school that serves Lawrenceville and all of their connections to the city. So you don't want to miss this episode. Let's check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lawrenceville Bicentennial Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk to the people that know Lawrenceville best. And today on the show, we're talking all about education in Lawrenceville today with Discovery High School. We're talking to principal, assistant principal, and hey guys, this is like a great opportunity to learn more about this incredible school right here in our neighborhood. Let's get this thing kicked off. Why don't you just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about how you came to Discovery High School.
So I'm Marcy Sledge, principal of Discovery High School. I will give you the Reader's Digest version.
Great.
I was one of the alternative type teachers way back before it was like the common thing to do back in Los Angeles Unified.
Okay, wow.
And when I moved to Georgia, Gwinnett County was where I found my first teaching home here.
Wow.
And I've kind of noodled my way through high school science, into leadership at a middle school, and then opened an elementary school, which was way outside my comfort zone in Gwinnett County. And then I kind of moved my way back up through being a principal at a middle school. And then now I am at Discovery High School and have been since 2018.
So how many years is that journey?
28.
In education, 28 years in education from Los Angeles, 3,000 miles away into Georgia. And what was the school that you opened?
Tripp Elementary School in the Grayson Cluster.
Oh, that's amazing. That's very, very cool. And how about you, sir? Introduce yourself. Tell us how you came to Discovery.
Well, I'm Brent Cruz, assistant principal over Discovery. I started off as a long-term sub, actually, at Moore Middle School and Central Gwinnett. Central was gracious enough to give me an opportunity to teach language arts there, so I taught there for a few years, became the academy coach there, and started kind of the academy work here in Gwinnett County. And worked with our business partners, and then did that for about 3 years. And Marcy Sledge decided to hire me at Discovery as an assistant principal to kind of come over and work with our academy model. And just based on my experience with that, I've been fortunate to be there.
Well, let's talk about the model. Let's talk about what makes Discovery High School special. What makes it different?
And Brett and I can kind of both answer this. I think what makes us a little bit different from other maybe academy high schools is that we really have continued, honestly, since Brent came there in my first year there, he came the second year. We really try to adhere to what it's intended to be, which is building small communities within our school so that students and teachers are scheduled and sort of housed in an area of our school, depending on their academy. We work with quads of teacher leaders and a counselor and an AP to focus on the students that are in that specific academy.
Wow.
And then I think, and I'll let Brent kind of take over, I think the other thing we really focus on is giving our students experiences that align with those academies so that they are marketable.
Yeah, get them prepared for the real world, right?
For the real world, exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the benefit of being in an academy school is we are able to offer more career pathways for students. So we've got over 13 pathways that we offer Discovery, where most schools in Gwinnett, most high schools have a career technical education program, and they offer some of these pathways, but we're able to offer, various ones that not every school offers their students. And so that's a big plus. Some of our partnerships with the city of Lawrenceville, other local businesses, we try to focus on providing internship opportunities for our students that align with the academies they're in. So if, say they're in STEM academy and they want to become, computer, they're in computer science classrooms, we try to get them opportunities where they can actually apply that learning and learn what kind of careers might be out there for them. So that's one benefit that we get to do with our academy model.
Yeah, and it feels like students today, they have a little bit, they're exploring what they want to do, of course, in their lives, but I feel like they got a little bit more grip on what they want to try, at least. And so this model kind of helps them experiment, kind of put their toe in the water, get a taste for a certain kind of thing. Because I think it's just information. They're on YouTube. They've got, they're checking out all these different kind of career paths anyway. They kind of have a general idea of what they want to try. And so this model allows them to not only take a class on computer science or something like that. It's more that they get to get a feel for it with a real partner that's in the community that's associated with that academy. I mean, you have like real partners in this school, right?
Yeah, we have an advisory board for our academy. So we have business partners from.
That's so cool.
Yeah, from every academy. We have 5 academies: 9th grade academy, business, STEM academy, fine arts, healthcare.
Wow.
I think that's all of them.
Did you name 5? I stopped counting.
9th grade business, 9th grade academy,
There's
business
so many.
academy, fine arts, healthcare, and
STEM.
STEM. Yep, that's 5.
That's amazing. And then, so what about you have another thing going on with the junior achievement, right? So, because I've known about like, it's like a food court of businesses, right? So,
Well, we have a unique partnership, and honestly, they live with us.
Oh, okay.
They're not actually part of our high school.
Oh,
and so
wow.
that's something
So
that
they're
a lot of
in
schools they live in our building, but they actually provide educational programs for every Gwinnett County middle schooler in both 6th and 8th grader.
Oh, wow.
So they live with us, and we actually benefit from them living with us because some of our students, particularly in the business academy, are able to go down and volunteer and work with the younger students in this sort of business model situation that they have. So they actually have 2 programs, Finance Park, which is for 8th graders, and that is focused on financial literacy. Frankly, it's a very experiential day for those students. So every 8th grader in Gwinnett County gets to participate in that.
I wish I would have had that in 8th grade, you know?
And then BizTown is actually geared towards 6th graders, where they do a bunch of lessons in advance, and they learn about the different roles in a business. So the CEO, the CFO, all those things, and they come in and actually run that business for a day, again, one time a year for 6th graders.
That is so cool. I mean, I can't even dream about an opportunity kind of like that, you know?
So it's a partnership between, honestly, Gwinnett County Public Schools and JA, Junior Achievement, that they've come to this agreement, and that's how it works. Used to, you had to go all the way downtown to experience
I see.
A Junior Achievement Center like ours, but now
And
we
it's
have our own.
inside of the school. That's kind of crazy. Cool. Well, let's talk about, maybe give people some background. Students, you guys obviously serve Lawrenceville, but do they come from around the county? Like, how does that work? Maybe kind of talk about enrollment. Like, who is coming to Discovery High School these days?
So we are a traditional high school in terms of enrollment. We are not a magnet school, as they might say, or a special theme school where students come on permissive transfer. Our students live in our community.
Okay.
So that is how they are.
And I think that's something to clear up with folks, because maybe it's the junior achievement piece where people are like, oh, well, they're kind of like a business school, but that's really junior achievement is in the high school, and you guys are an academy model school, but really public high school serving Lawrenceville, serving Gwinnett.
Correct.
Okay. I gotcha. Makes sense. I remember when Discovery first came in over there, I actually grew up on Mumford Road, which is like not too far away. So it would have probably been my high school had it been there, when way back in the day. But it's kind of fun. Also, another connection to Discovery. Roy, you're a football coach, is my neighbor.
Oh,
so,
really?
and most of the great parts of my truck came from him because he sells me all his toy he gets tired of. I've got some great running boards from Roy. So
That's
shout out
awesome.
to Roy. Y'all got a great football coach in him.
Yeah.
He definitely loves the students there and loves coaching. So that's awesome. Came from Central with you, I guess.
He's assistant there. I think he was at Meadow Creek for a little bit too before he came over. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Great guy. I had to give a shout out to him. Well, let's share some success stories. Let's talk about, some of your favorite stories in your time of being at Discovery.
Wow. There's a lot. Well, I think one of the things I would say is a success from a principal standpoint is just the academy model. And I think one of the important things about, or that people should understand about the academy model, or just in general career pathways, is that students who complete career pathways in high school, which are a 3-course series in a specific area, are far more likely to graduate high school. And so I don't know the exact number. Honestly, I didn't look it up. Brent probably knows off the top of his head.
98.86%. Yeah.
I think it's because they have like a direction, or what do you think the reason is?
I do think it is. And I think the reality is, I'm a former physics teacher, so I get it. But kids are coming to school and enjoying mostly their electives.
I see.
They're not coming to school and again, chemistry, physics. They're not coming to school because they love chemistry most of the time. They're coming because they're connected to the things that they enjoy doing. And so, and we have interviewed several students who are working for our creative media team, which is kind of an in-house media team from our AVTF program. And, one of them I remember in the interview said, if not for this program, I probably wouldn't come back next year and graduate. But because I can be part of this, I want to come back to school next year. So I think those things speak to students, and that's what they enjoy. They want to be going to graphic design. We've got a lot of creative kids, both the performing arts, but also just like the creative technical arts, graphic design, audiovisual, film, and technology. They're really creative. They're very talented, and they see this as a way to get a leg up, and knowing that that's a real possibility as a career field for them in our area now.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
They're interested, and they're going to come back to school for that.
Yeah, it's a creative culture, creative economy nowadays. It kind of makes sense that you would see a lot more of that.
And a lot of them are interested in going into business for themselves, even doing that kind of work.
Entrepreneurial.
So absolutely. So that's another draw.
We've got, speaking of entrepreneurs, we have a entrepreneurship marketplace that we do every year. One of our marketing teachers puts us on, where students who are in his class, they've started these small businesses, and some of them they're making soaps and those types of things. Others are making they have a clothing line or clothing apparel that they're selling, and they actually are able to sell those things to students and staff members during the day as part of a marketplace opportunity. To see that grow from a couple years ago where it was like 20 of those students doing these businesses, to now we're filling our gymnasium with 40 to 50 different tables and small businesses. And maybe they're not LLCs, right? Maybe they're not officially, but they're learning the process and what it takes, and the caliber of the marketing materials that they have now, just as far as the displays go and what they're selling, has increased dramatically in the last couple of years, and they've done a great job. And Marcy said they're very creative, and that's been cool. One of the success stories I think about in terms of our students and our partnerships kind of with the city of Lawrenceville and with Summer of Impact is that we've got a student who currently works for Family Promise, who works full time there, and she started as an internship, as a summer internship. They liked her.
Is that through Impact 46?
Yes.
And,
Okay. So that's the partnership we got with Impact 46.
Very cool.
And they hired her, and they hired her on full time, and she's been there, I believe, 2 years now.
Wow.
And so she's doing a great job. They love her, and that's one of the things that we want to have happen for all of our kids, is to get that opportunity for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the visions, honestly, of Jen Young, and actually from Impact 46 and the city of Lawrenceville, is they really want our students to be aware of opportunity in our own little city, and our kids to go out and be successful in college or whatever they may want to do, but then come back and lead and be in our community.
Yeah.
And so I think the connections that we build through that summer program are exposing our students to the Lawrenceville community.
Yeah.
And to be honest, because of our attendance for Discovery, downtown Lawrenceville isn't really in their sphere.
Right.
But when we start connecting them to downtown Lawrenceville, and they see all there is to be offered in terms of entertainment, family, things to do, and then also career and opportunity, I think it really opens the door for our students, and is going to help the city build that vision that they see of the young people, the young, diverse students in Lawrenceville schools coming back to be leaders in our community. Yeah,
the local mindset that is kind of funny. You have to build that worldview for students. It's not something that we think about often, but the whole culture is screaming, go off and pursue your dream. They're going to LA. They're going where you came from. So, they're going to the culture creating capitals and New York's and Nashville's and places like that. And because that's where TV, social media, everything's screaming at them 24/7, and the placemaking that happens naturally is really their school. So their peers that they went to elementary school, middle school, or their neighborhood that they're from, and around that side of Lawrenceville, their neighborhood, their school. That's kind of all they have time to think about. So programs like this really take them into the downtown area, introduce them to businesses, introduce them to city council and leaders and things like that. The Lawrenceville Legacy Leaders, that's a cool program that you guys are also a part of, where kids are coming in and they're getting a chance to volunteer a bit and put on events and stuff. And everything that I've heard back from that program has been students are just like, their eyes are open. They feel like, wow, this is a cool thing. Maybe just tell us a little bit about your connection to Lawrenceville Legacy Leaders.
So part of the city's plan, and when they got the recast grant, that was part of the reason that they got that grant, was that they were going to develop youth leaders in Lawrenceville. And so, it targets students that attend schools in Lawrenceville, high schools in Lawrenceville. And the group has been very, it started last year, and one of the big projects that they worked on and the students created and put on was the Well Fest, because for them, coming out of the pandemic, just mental health for young people was a big concern for them. And so that's one of the things that they really wanted to focus on as students, putting on this community event really centered around mental health. And they did a wonderful job putting it on. It was a cold night that night, but they went full force into it. And I think that was a great experience for them. And then the second year of the program, some of those students have been able to come back as leaders and mentors for the new Lawrenceville Legacy Leaders that are participating this year. And it has been, again, a really great way to help our students get civically involved in our community.
Yeah.
And not just with students at our high school, but it's with students at other high schools within Lawrenceville, so that they're building those connections and that collaboration, and again, building that community, not just within their school, but among other schools. So it's been a great experience for our students, I know.
That's so awesome. So we talked a little bit about summer. We talked a little bit about Lawrenceville Legacy Leaders. Talked a little bit about Recast in general, but also Summer of Impact and those internships that are available to students. Any cool stories from that? Was that the program that the student was a part of?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it was. So Summer of Impact kind of started probably about 7 years ago at Central Gwinnett. I met Jasmine Billings from the city of Lawrenceville and Jen Young with Impact 46, and they kind of had this vision of trying to start an internship program within the city of Lawrenceville. And so they came to Central and they wanted to know if we had any students who might be interested.
Sure.
Like, yeah, we got 2,500 kids here. I'm sure, of course we do.
Yeah.
And so we started that program over there at Central. And when I came over to Discovery, I really wanted to bring that partnership over, and they wanted to start that partnership with Discovery as well.
Sure.
We were in the city of Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
So it's kind of grown to include not just Central Gwinnett students, but Discovery High School students. And it is a partnership that provides internship opportunities during the summer for students at Discovery and Central Gwinnett High School. And right now, the partnerships are mainly with local businesses in the city of Lawrenceville. That's kind of the aim, is to get them involved there. But it has grown. I think we've offered more internships just about every year. And so that's something that is very important for our kids, because, one of the things that the academy model intends to offer is opportunities. I think it kind of impacts the what I call the opportunity gap. Because a lot of these kids, when I was young, I didn't have, I had my parents who were like, what do you want to do? And they would put me in contact with people that they knew in those positions.
Right.
Sometimes kids don't have that.
Sure.
And so we need our business partners and these internship opportunities to provide those for those kids. And that's the goal. So they get these summer-long internships where not only are they working, but they also meet with city leaders and Jen Young and Jasmine and some other folks with Impact 46 to do what they call a community impact project. So they try to create something that is addressing a need that they see, that the students see in the city of Lawrenceville.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool.
I think one success story that I can think of, another one just off the top of my head, was a couple years ago or a year ago. We had a student who was actually a computer science student, I believe was his pathway, but Peachtree Packaging
Yeah.
He was matched up with Peachtree Packaging, which builds corrugated displays and things. But
that's cool. Yeah.
He ended up doing an internship there with them. They loved him. They ended up hiring him, and so he was going to high school the next year and then working for them part-time doing computer programming work. So those are the types of things that we ideally want for students. I think the other thing that program does, and we're kind of in the midst of this process right now, is just workforce development training for students, helping them understand what a good resume looks like, doing mock interviews so that when they go into these interviews, they know how to present themselves. They know what types of things to share. And I think that's the other part that's really good about this program is it's real world. Like we work with them to arrange the opportunities, but the student has to get the job.
Right.
It's not a guarantee. It's not just, you're not just matched up with somebody. You have to interview with the company and they have to extend that job to you. And so it doesn't always happen that they get the job if they're not prepared enough, if they didn't present well. So
amazing as that is, because I mean, even the opportunity of getting turned down is a learning lesson, right? Like if you can experience even some of that kind of, failure early, then that's good because then they go, okay, well, what did I need to do better? And how do you do an interview? And they learn some of those soft skills.
Or not checking your email quickly enough.
Right. And, somebody else got it. Right. Oh my gosh, they're not going to wait around for me. What's the deal? Yeah. Well, it's really cool for businesses too, because on the flip side, they get to engage with students before they go to college. So, why wait till everybody's through the system, graduating, looking at college applicants? I mean, they really get to know students ahead of time, maybe even help them with their college journey if the opportunity comes to be. That's
honestly,
pretty cool.
That's a powerful message for business partners. So business partners, if you're listening, pay attention to this. It's an opportunity for them to create like a pipeline of employees.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that most people, when they get their jobs, it's from within about 15 minutes of where they grew up. It's those first jobs. And so you've got students here in the city of Lawrenceville who don't know about all these different opportunities that exist.
Yeah.
And they just need somebody to show them and help them and kind of see the way. So, if you're an employer, I don't know why you wouldn't want to get involved and start really kind of shaping what your future workforce is going to look like, because they're going to be the ones that take these jobs in 5-6 years from now. So why not go ahead and get with them and start developing?
They have to market just for employment purposes too. This is an unprecedented opportunity for businesses to get in front of students. When you are looking for those employees that you need to like operate at your business at even the entry level, all that's on students' minds are the places where they've shopped and eaten. So it's like, well, I'm going to go work at Burger King. I'm going to go work at McDonald's. I'm going to go work at the movie theater. I'm going to go, the store that I like, you get a job at Publix or something like that, because that's what they know. And so think about the cool jobs you guys have already mentioned, Peachtree Packaging, those kind of companies that have those opportunities. Students wouldn't even know that's a thing, unless they're there. So businesses get involved with a program. How could they get involved with the program? What do they need to do to like help sign up for this? Do they go through Impact 46? Do they call you guys? Like, how does that work?
Yes, if you go to Impact 46's website, there's a page where if you are a prospective business, you're looking to hire to be a part of it. There's a contact page that it's a short little survey, and it'll shoot Impact 46 a message, and they'll reach out to you. And if they don't get back to you, Brent Cruz, Discovery High School.
All right.
Find me and we'll get you hooked up.
All right. That sounds great. Well, we talked a lot about opportunities and these great and wonderful things. Want to get down to this other level today where we talk about some of the challenges, because it's not easy what you do. Education in this year has its challenges, and especially with, like you mentioned, the kids coming out of the pandemic, which affected year after year of education. What are some of the challenges you see as far as like keeping students interested, engaged? What are some of the things that keep you guys up at night?
I think one of the things coming out of the pandemic, and I feel like we're kind of moving past this finally, is that I think during the pandemic, a lot of things just seemed optional.
Right.
Work seemed optional. School seemed optional. Like, there turning on your camera and be engaged in class or with people seemed optional.
That's true.
And so I think it's taken a little while to kind of move past that mentality of, getting a job and going to work and coming to school. Like, those things aren't optional. Those are investments in you.
Right.
But I do feel like we're making inroads back into that. But that has been I think a significant challenge coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, just to get them used to that routine. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like, a year can just really disrupt everything.
Yeah, some of the things we did, we implemented a play to learn program, which sounds kind of childish for high school, but one thing that we quickly learned was that students had kind of forgotten how to interact with each other and collaborate and work together. So we wanted to kind of give them an opportunity. So we do have time, like every week, 30 minutes, where students, they play board games, they play. They play Operation. They play these games that are from our childhood, and the goal is for them just to figure out how to be with each other and how to interact with each other appropriately and as a team. And so, like, some of those things, I think we've had to deal with. Obviously, social media is a challenge for every educator. Any kind of conflict or concern and comes from social media, and there's so much out there that says this is what your life should look like, this is what you should be like, and our kids who are growing up, and they're seeing that, and then they think that that's how their life should be. And so it's really trying to kind of get students to understand that is just a small percent of that person's life, and just trying to get them adapted to not having social media influence them in a negative way, because it can be a powerful tool. But
it's really hard when that's the first waters you're swimming in,
absolutely,
because you're still developing your self-worth as a student. So any kind of metric of approval or performance that's not associated with what you're doing, like a task or your grade. A+ was enough for me to know I was doing all right back in the day. If I had social media speaking all these other messages into me, I would probably be a disaster. And kids deal with that all day long, every day. So.
And I would say also, along the same lines, I think kids came out of a lot of people came out of the pandemic just with mental health concerns, crisis, depression. It has been at a much higher level than pre-pandemic. And so just our kids and our families even have a lot of needs, social and emotional needs that can be a huge barrier to them being successful in school. And so I think trying to fill those gaps where we can for students has been a big challenge.
Yeah, I can see that too. You hear more and more about mental health than you used to, and I don't think the previous generations really had permission either to say, hey, I've got to, if you were seeing a psychologist or something, they thought you were crazy. There was only crazy and sane, and now we know that's not the case, and thankfully the culture is a little bit more warm to all the different. The whole spectrum of that, and it's probably why the students have chosen this WellFest idea to, to be their topic. Think about how that's like, whoa, they picked the event, they picked the topic, and they pick something dealing with mental health. It must be on all of their minds right now. So wild. Well, guys, anything else we could look forward to in the future of Discovery? What's some cool stuff you have coming up?
Well, Summer of Impact is ramping up right now. So we're into that right now. So that's coming up again for this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really for us, we just want to continue to build the relationships with some of our partnerships that we've got in the city of Lawrenceville, and just trying to give our students as many opportunities as they can to see what is out there for them and what their future can look like. And so that's been positive. And Impact 46 is growing. They've hired more people with support staff to help. So I think that's a positive sign for the city of Lawrenceville as a whole.
Yeah, I think so too. Awesome.
Not just going to put a shout out, we have the best students. And, I think sometimes high school students get a bad rap, but really it's just delightful, I think, to be in our building on a day-to-day basis. Great kids that have great attitudes and, just really want adults that believe in them and trust in them and want good things for them. And I think what we see is when young people get poured into like they do with Impact 46 in our city, who is clearly invested in their future. I mean, it matters to them.
Yeah.
And so that makes me really happy for our kids.
Yeah.
And a quick story on, so
please.
When I interviewed for the job, when Marcy interviewed me as assistant principal, one thing that stuck out to me was the way that she talked about the students at our school. And she's retiring at the end of this year, so hopefully she tears up. This will make for good television.
Oh my goodness!
No, but
after these 28 years, retirement. No, tell me it's not so.
But it did stick out to me, the way she spoke about our kids sold me on coming to Discovery. And when I got there, it's my 5th year there. It's true. We do have phenomenal students and a phenomenal school leader as well. And so it's nothing but bright things ahead for Discovery.
Oh yeah, that's great. Well, we buried the lead a little bit, didn't we? My
maybe
goodness.
a little. It's not about me.
That's right.
It's about the school and the kids. And
Spoken like a true principal.
It's not about me.
Right.
So.
Well, guys, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Let us know a little bit more about Discovery High School and all the things going on. Anything else you'd like to share before we go?
I think so. Go Titans.
All right, go Titans. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of the Lawrenceville Bicentennial Podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Until next time, you guys just hit subscribe. It's usually in the top right corner of most podcast players. Of course, you can always subscribe to the city's YouTube page, probably where you're watching this right now. And until next time, you guys have a good one.